Hello there, boys and girls and children of all ages. Fat Bastard Wannabe Buddha here, doing Hearthstone for losers, the novice player themselves, trying to show you that actually the new patch itself will not affect me at all. And the reason for that is I don't spend a lot of money on this game, so I don't have all the really cool cards, and I've been very unfortunate with my pack draws. So anyway, let's go over the patch notes itself. The main changes were through Abusive Sergeant, Blood Imp, Dark Iron Dwarf, Defender of Argus, Power Blast, Sylvanas Windrunner, and Unleash the Hounds. Let's go through it real quick. I don't play a hunter, but I think this is a really good move right here. Unleash the Hounds now cost 2, down from 4. The purpose of this was basically to be a board clear for the hunters, especially against a lot of those rushdown decks, the Warlock decks, a lot of the Warlock rushdown decks. That way they have a good means of board clear, so they wouldn't get so behind. So this is actually pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't even have an Unleash the Hounds card in my deck, so I don't have to worry about that. And I don't play Hunter. The Mage Power Blast now costs 10, up from 8. I am absolutely glad to see this. I'm sort of tired of getting burned. Those turn 8 mages that were running and dominating most of the game itself. They would basically get out there and play a lot of spell damage cards, and hopefully you would keep it on the deck itself. Not having the way to deal with it. Wait till turn 8, get 2 of these things in their hands, and burn you down in 2 turns. So actually glad to see that pop up to 10 mana cost. So that's pretty good. Warlock, I play a lot of Warlock, but I just got my first Blood Imp today. I opened a pack and got my first Blood Imp, and now it's a 0/1, which I don't really mind that much. It was a little bit overrated in every Murloc deck, every Warlock deck, almost every Warlock deck out there had to have the Blood Imp in it. Every Warlock was running a Blood Imp, and giving a +1 health to all your minions made those rush decks a little bit too hard to deal with if you was opposing them. So giving it an 0/1 and making it a random friendly minion, which is okay. I have no problem with this. It wouldn't affect me before now. Even now that I have actually got one, it won't affect me that much. So because I don't think that's that big a deal. But a lot of those Murloc decks might be going away. The Warrior deck. This is the great nerf to the one-turn kill. The Warsong Commander has been reworked and now reads whenever you play a minion with 3 or less attack, give it charge. That's right, boys and girls. All those one-turn kill giant decks of warriors have gone away. That Great Panda deck is going to the Great Panda deck in the sky. So no more waiting around and holding a couple Warsaw Commanders and a couple baby pandas and a couple of giants and just trying to get those 3 cards in your hand so you can do 16, 20, 24 to 30 something damage on your opponent in one turn. That's gone away, and maybe that was a good nerf and an overdue nerf. Abusive Sergeant, hey, I don't got it, so I don't really worry about it. It wasn't being played that much, but a +2 until the end of the turn, which is okay. Gives it more versatility. But because of this nerf right here to the Dark Iron Dwarf, give a minion +2 until the end of the turn, and it's not permanent. This right here is going to make the Abusive Sergeant more use, but a lot of people will have to be reworking their deck slightly because this was in everybody's cool kid's deck. Every cool kid had this in their deck. I don't have one. I don't have an Abusive Sergeant. So I'm glad to see this nerf come down on the Dark Iron Dwarf. Defender of Argus, every other cool kid's deck was running this. Now it's a 2/3 as opposed to a 3/3. It's not that great of a nerf on it, but because the taunt, it makes it so powerful. Everybody will still probably have a Defender of Argus in it, but the attacks go. It's okay to see the attack go down on it a little bit. The Novice Engineer, this one right here actually does affect me because the Novice Engineer is in every single one of my decks. I always put it in there. It was a 1/2 and a draw a card. Now it's a 1/1 and draw a card. It's not that great of that bad of a nerf. I still will probably be running it, but it means that it gets taken care of really really early. Fan of Knives can burn it down. There's so many things that just deal 1 damage across the board that can get rid of the Novice Engineers pretty easily now. So I would still probably run it. It isn't that bad of a nerf. I don't really think it was that needed, but they wanted to do something to it. Sylvia's Windrunner now costs 6 up from 5. Every cool kids deck had this in their card. I don't think that nerf's going to stop it much, but it does slow some of those cool decks down a little bit. Blizzard has learned something very interesting. This right here doesn't affect me at all. I only have 2 of the cards in question. I got the Blood Imp now, and I got the Novice Engineer, and this patch absolutely affects me at hardly at all. But it does change a lot of the meta game drastically, just with the Dark Iron Dwarf and the Defender of Argus and the Sylvia's Windrunner. And that's what they figured out. They figured out they don't have to produce any new content, new cards. Yes, they got new cards coming down the road somewhere. This is still really in the beta, but this is really not a beta in the sense of normal betas. This is a live game. Almost everybody that wants to play it can play it in some ways. So it's almost a live game, but they don't have to produce any new quality or new content for a long period of time. All they got to do is monkey around with what the cards that they already got in the decks can do. So this gives them a means to milk this for all it's worth. This is I hate to break the news to you. The new marketing strategy is Candy Crush. That's how all the games, those play to win, get you to a certain frustration point with the games itself, and that's what Hearthstone's going to be. Hearthstone is going to be basically Candy Crush, and there's nothing wrong with that. As soon as they get this on an iPhone, everybody will be playing that. That's pretty cool. I'm smart enough not to be spending money on it. But anyway, this is the Fat Bash Wannabe Buddha showing that the patch notes for the novice player, for the average player that's not obsessing about it, that basically just a casual player, the patch means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Anyway, happy to talk to you, Fat Bash Wannabe Buddha. Good day.